All right. A new report claims that 6 out of 10 Americans have money in a retirement account. Apparently, the other 4 out of 10 have their money in the McDonald's app. So that's exciting. Hi, everyone. I'm Kenny Webster. Thanks for turning on your radio this afternoon. Depending on where you're watching us from, some of you may be watching us streaming on social media right now. So hello to those of you on the Tube of Views and the Book Faces and the Twitter Spheres and Rumble. What the hell is Rumble? I don't know what Rumble is. I'm glad to be here, though. I'm alive, and you're alive, and that's an accomplishment. Not everybody woke up alive today. Some people woke up dead. And if you are dead and you're watching this, that's incredible. I'd love to ask you how you did that. I actually feel like I've made a lot of big changes in my life over the last few years in terms of health. And the way that I did it was lifting weights. For the most part, I go to this gym. It's called Starting Strength, and it's a cult. It really, a lot of things are a cult. It's not like the Methodist Church. These aren't weirdos or whatever. I know nobody likes the Methodists, but we do like Starting Strength Gym, though. It's a really cool program created by this guy named Mark Ripito. A little controversial in and of his own right, but he figured out the fastest, simplest, healthiest way to get you to develop muscle strength. Not like bulk up necessarily or slim down. It's not about losing weight. It's not about gaining weight. It's about the ability to lift things and be stronger and healthier. And joining me right now in the recording studio, the radio studio where I'm at, JD Shipley is here from Starting Strength Gym. JD, you're 7'5", 600 pounds. Is that about what you weigh?
7'6".
7'6". Yeah, I got it.
850.
That's exactly right. JD is here. And also, maybe you could introduce this gentleman over here to the right of you.
To the right of me, we have one of our actually founding members, John Wilbanks.
John, you are a founding member. Can you explain what that means?
I just joined up when the gym started.
How did you know what Starting Strength was?
Well, I didn't at first, of course, and I heard about it and spoke with some of the members, and they explained what was going on, and it seemed like it made a whole lot of sense. I also was convinced, finally, by listening to a podcast that Mark Ripito put on.
Who turned you on to that? Your kids?
My son, yeah.
And he's a right-wing extremist in the military or something like that?
Something like that.
Is that right? That's very cool that you did. And your day job is something else. So you're a sound guy?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a sound and lighting and video production company, and that's what we do.
That's what you do. That's what your day job. How's business right now?
Well, it's not what it was prior or pre the lockdown COVID business, but it's getting back. It's probably 70% back.
And you blame Donald Trump for that, right?
Of course, everybody else does. Why not?
He's kidding, of course.
Easy.
All right, JD, you have a program that not a lot of people seem to think. If you are, as you're getting older, you're not supposed to lift weights. You're not supposed to lift heavy things. That's what'll kill you. That's dangerous. That's not necessarily true, is it?
That's completely false. That is completely false. As we age, we lose a greater percentage of muscle, and so it is even more important for people to train as they get older to train with weights and with the goal of getting stronger.
All right, John is not the oldest guy in the gym necessarily, is he? But
best looking guy.
He's certainly the best looking guy. But John, you represent. You're a baby boomer, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, and a lot of baby boomers your age don't necessarily go out and lift weights.
That's right.
You got into this program because your son was doing something similar. But what happened next was probably even surprised you a little bit. You had a near-death experience. Is that correct?
Right.
Can you explain that a little bit to us?
Yeah, it was twofold. The first thing that happened was I was one of the lucky ones, and actually, you gave it to me, right? I caught COVID. And,
I gave you COVID. I'm the reason that you got COVID.
Right. I got COVID in a bad way. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that gets sick very often at all, so my health has been very, very good. And I was working out in the gym only for about a year or two.
Yeah, it wasn't a very long time.
Not at all. And then I came down with COVID and ended up in the hospital with COVID pneumonia and intensive care I was there for like almost 10 days.
You were there for 10 days, a long time to be in a hospital.
In ICU.
I don't like going to a hospital for a couple hours. ICU is a pretty big deal. They had you on a ventilator?
That was the next step.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were there, describe the experience. What was it like being, you couldn't move, you couldn't breathe. What was that like?
It was hellish, actually. It just immobilized. They had tubes in me. I had to be on high flow oxygen all the time, and that's a very unpleasant thing. I had to do what's called use a BiPAP machine, and that's not like a CPAP. BiPAP is where it actually percusses your lungs.
CPAP really bad for your sex life. What was this like? Not
Worse.
also bad for your sex life? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You don't even get any sympathy factor with that thing.
It's hard to make coitus when you've got a CPAP machine, but
really
this is even more
When
challenging.
you
I
look
guess.
like Snuffleupagus.
All right. So what? So this went on for days, right?
Oh, yeah.
But at this point, you'd already been in the program, lifting weights at starting
Couple
strength.
years, yeah.
And then you got sick, went away to the hospital, and your doctor explained to you that it was actually you were surprisingly strong for a guy your age, that your muscle strength may have played a role in helping you to survive, right?
Muscles themselves, they explained to me that when you're that sick, that your body uses protein to fight the infection.
Right.
So had I not had my muscles built up like they were, I wouldn't have had a thing to work with.
Yeah.
And I'd only worked out in the gym in my life 2 years. I mean, prior to that, I never went anywhere near a gym. So, and I was not overweight, just wasn't very strong. And I was getting to realize as I got older that I was losing the ability to do things like I used to.
Yeah.
I usually drove big motorcycles, and I realized that I was not able to handle a bike quite like I used to, and would not be comfortable that way. So I sold them and was trying to do the right thing. Joined the gym, and then got real sick, and then they told me, "Hey, this can go either way. We don't know how you're going to come out of this."
Now, hang on a second. You're telling me you sold your motorcycles because you thought they were too dangerous for you. You gave all that up, put it aside to try to live a safer life, and then you ended up getting a situation where you got so sick you were in the hospital.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So probably not what you were expecting at that
At
point.
all.
No. How did your family members all react to this?
It was tough. I mean, it was a major upset for the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, I could
They're
imagine.
very
Yeah.
supportive, but it was not easy.
Was there a point where people were seriously wondering if you were not going to make it?
Right, and the complicating factors to all this was during COVID, so I couldn't have visitors. It's crazy.
Really? You
So-
couldn't have any visitor because it was the pandemic.
Right.
Right. Now, obviously, it's very important for people to go to George Floyd's funeral, but not, we'll leave that one alone, but not your military veteran
That's
uncle.
it.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's crazy that happened to you. So, what, JD, explain to us, what did some of the training entail for something like this?
It's as simple as it gets. It's squats,
Yeah.
press, bench, and deadlift for 3 sets of 5, and you wash, rinse, repeat. And you add a little bit of weight next time under the supervision of a coach.
Why is the simplicity so important?
Well, because if you go into a gym, right? If you go into your typical gym, you have a section with the treadmills. You have a section with the machines. You have the section with the free weights. You have the section with the dumbbells. You've got the pool. You've got the classes. There's a whole plethora of things to do. But there's only a few things that are effective, right? Training, barbell training. I'm sorry, is simple because it uses the entire body as a system, which is the way it's meant to be, and you can load it heavier than you would if you were to do things individually, and it's just way more efficient.
All right, so I saw this video on the internet where these women said that you're supposed to strap yourself to a bungee cord and then jump around in the room while you listen to Cardi B's music. You don't agree with that, JD?
Well, if it's Cardi B's music, yes.
Okay,
But,
if it's
no.
Cardi B's music, it makes a big difference. All right, let's get back to your story for just a minute. In fact, we're going to take a quick break. If you're watching us streaming on social media right now, this story continues immediately. To those of you listening on the radio, stick around for just a few minutes. When we get back, John is going to explain to us how the Starting Strength program actually saved his life. And it's a pretty incredible thing to think that the traditional weightlifting, strength training, conditioning, barbell at work can actually saved a man from what was considered to be one of the most dangerous pandemics in a century. Don't go anywhere.
Truth with a dose of sarcasm, right here on Pursuit of Happiness Radio.
It's hard work to host a show with a couple of knuckleheads.
Ken Webster Jr.
All right, so if you're watching us live streaming right now, don't forget this Friday night, I'm going to be at District 249. You guys are going to want to be there. It's going to be fantastic. Chad Prather is going to be coming out with us to do stand-up comedy, 7 p.m., District 249. Tickets are available right now. You can get them at watchchad.com. You can get them at jessieisfunny.com. And I'm told that it's selling out. So if you want to hang out with us this Friday and watch, it's called the Right Side of Comedy Tour, the Gulf of America, right-wing stand-up comedians. It's going to be dirty. There will be lots of X-rated humor. You're going to want to be part of that. Come hang out with us this Friday. Tomball, Texas is actually a town named after a guy named Tom Ball. I don't approve of that, but that's what they did. That's what they came up with it. So come hang out with us this Friday night. It's going to be a blast. All right, we're going back on right now. Stick around. All right, this just in. According to a new report, eggs are being recalled for salmonella. We finally have an answer to that age-old question. What got salmonella first, the chicken or the egg? We actually turns out eggs is the answer. Hi, everybody. I'm Kenny Webster. Welcome back. An unusual episode of Pursuit of Happiness Radio this afternoon here in Houston, Texas. I invited in a couple of people. I invited my strength training coach. His name is J.D. Shipley. J.D. Shipley is busy. What are you reading, a book over there or something?
I'm looking up tickets to the Right Side of Comedy thing.
Oh, the
that
Right Side
you just talked about
at District 249.
I'm texting my wife right now to see if she wants to see if I can convince her to go.
It's going to be a lot of fun. For those of you listening on the radio, you did not hear what I just explained to the people watching us streaming on social media. This Friday night, District 249, me, Chad Prather, Jesse Payton, it's going to be a lot of fun. Come hang out with us there. And John is in the building right now. John, can I out your age on the air? Do you care? You're a grandpa.
Yeah,
How many kids do you have?
I have 5 sons.
You have 5 sons. That is a lot of sons.
That's a lot of sons.
Wow. That must have been you must have had a lot of really crunchy socks laying around your house when these kids were growing up.
Yep.
There must have been just constantly doing laundry all the time. And how many kids do your kids have? How many
We have
grandkids?
7 grandkids and 1 more on the way
Wow. When is that one expected to come?
in August.
That is really exciting.
It is.
And you love them all equally,
Of course.
but which one is your favorite?
Yes.
No comment.
You won't answer that. I get it. You're on the radio. Okay. So if you're just getting tuned in, John is telling this story about how a few years ago he had been in the starting strength program, lifting weights on Shepherd I go to the same exact gym as him. I always like to say John is one of my brothers of iron and steel. So is JD, obviously. And we lift weights 3 times a week at this gym. It's a lot of fun. Changed my life. I lost some weight in my gut, and I put it on my arms. Now I bring the guns out when I go to the beach. That's a nice feeling. It's nice to look good naked, but it's even better to not be dead. And I think that's mostly what we like about the program. I can lift hundreds of pounds above my head now. I didn't used to be able to do that. But one thing that I did not gain from the program that you did was it pretty much saved your life, didn't it? Let's get back to that part of the story, John. You're in the hospital and you're recovering. The doctors already explained to you that because you were in the starting strength program, because you had this muscle mass and muscle strength that was uncommon for somebody in your situation, that your doctor told you they attributed that to part of the reason why you survived this whole experience. But then you got out of the gym and then a new level of recovery began, right?
Right.
Yeah. Can you start the story there or continue the story there?
Yeah, so getting out of the hospital was tough because, for example, the disease had depleted, or my body had depleted most of the muscle in my whole system, and as a result of that, it was hard it was a big deal just to get out of a chair and go across the room to use the restroom or whatever, go sit at the breakfast table, whatever. So I never had thought of how difficult that was going to be, but it was very difficult. So,
Like, can you describe that? Like just sitting up in a chair was painful.
it was hard. It was just it was work. So when I called JD, and he got at that time my coach was Josh, and he came out. Or I went to see Josh at the gym, and I said, "Can you rehabilitate me here? Because I got to get back. I got to get back." And they did. So they started off with the basics that JD was talking about, and it started off with squats and
What does rehabilitation entail? Is that a little different, JD, than what a normal person would be subjected to? Were they signing up for your program?
So yes and no. John, remind me, because you came in with a pulse ox. This was after the round of COVID, but before, I guess, the heart surgery, which we're going to get into here in a second. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So John came in, right? He was extremely deconditioned as a result. I think you lost on the order of
51 pounds.
Yeah. So
wow.
So when he came in, right, he through training, he put on 30 pounds, and then he lost roughly 51 pounds,
51 pounds.
like he said a second ago. So he lost a ton of weight, but he had it to give back. He was extremely deconditioned when he came in, and he came in with with an oxygen bottle, right? He had to have supplemental oxygen, and he had a pulse ox that would tell him whether or not his oxygen levels were going up or down, if you need to sit down and rest, and that sort of thing. So the program itself didn't change. We still had him squat. However, it was extremely inappropriate because of his condition to have him squat with weight. So we had him he was doing body weight squats to a high bench. Right, and he would do a set of 3 and sit down and rest. And when his oxygen levels came back up to 90, 95, I believe, then and if you felt good to go, then we would do another set. And we ended up doing like 3 sets of 3. So very, very light work, but consistently over time, the rest periods got a little bit shorter, and then the depth that he was squatting to got deeper. And so over a period of months, we got him back. He got back to a point where he was squatting normally, and then we were able to add a little bit of weight going forward.
I've told this story on the air before, but when I started your program, I had a shoulder injury from skiing. Not quite as extreme, but I couldn't sleep on the left side of my body for months. I mean, for the better part of a year. I started the program, and in less than a month, I forgot I even had the injury. One of my coaches, Tony, another great guy in your program, came up and he said, "So how's your shoulder been?" I was like, what do you mean? "Oh, that's right. I had the shoulder injury. I just forgot about it." Was that, as you were recovering, was that a little bit what it was like? You almost forgot along the way as you were getting better that you'd even had the problem? Did it happen faster than you thought it would?
It did. And weaning off of oxygen was a big deal for me because I had to drag that ridiculous bottle around with me. And
you don't miss that, do you?
I don't miss that
No,
bit.
you don't.
But the thing of it is, at some point, I realized that, hey, my numbers are good enough where I don't need to really have O2 anymore. I stopped doing it.
Sure.
So I was concerned about not having it when I was sleeping because I didn't want to wake up dead like we were talking about earlier. But my confidence got where it should have been and just quit using it altogether, and I was fine.
So considering, how great the program was for you and that it basically saved your life, don't you kind of feel like maybe you should give JD some more money? I mean, he said
A red Tesla.
Every month he continues to give his money in the form of membership.
That's right.
That's all I could ever ask for.
Those cyber trucks are cheaper than ever now. We can
Oh Jesus! Yeah, no, I'd rather not have a vehicle vandalized. Thank you.
those are on sale now, I'm told. JD, it's a great story. It really is. And since then, you've continued in the program. Your sons, when they're in town, they train with you. I mean, it really changed your life. You never expected that. You got into the program because you thought it would be something fun to do, lifting weights with your sons, and it ended up saving your life, basically.
That's right. I really got in the program because I was having that usual curve where as we get older, we become less and less physical and you begin to lose the strength. And I was noticing that with me. So that's why I got in the program. And so when I topped that up, then this event happened with the COVID, and it saved my life.
Yeah, it really did, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you're, like, I know you personally. You're stronger than a lot of people half your age. You actually wrestle bears for fun now, don't you? No, I don't mean actual bears, like gay men in the Montrose neighborhood. That's what JD, if people want to find out more about this, look, this is a great program. The Houston location, very popular. Often there's not even a seat available. The Katy location is a slightly bigger gym. Obviously, there is a little more room there, but both places are taking new students, right?
Yep. We've got 6 spots in Houston. Once those are full, then we're filled up. Katy has a little bit better availability. So yeah, Google starting strength.
Jennifer, we have some comments on social media.
Absolutely.
Jennifer on Facebook is asking, what's the cost? For one-on-one training, it really doesn't get, in the Houston area, I got to think this is the most affordable thing.
It breaks down to $35 a session in Houston, and in Katy, it's $28 a
$38 or $28 a session. Compare that to normal one-on-one time with a personal trainer.
and that's for an hour and a half too.
Hundreds of dollars normally. Yeah, that's vastly cheaper than what most people are charging. Let's see. Jason says, so are we changing John's eat less and move more? Okay, we have a saying on the morning show. We say to lose weight, the great way to lose weight is eat less, move around more. But ironically, or not ironically, just a funny thing about that, in your program, you encourage people to eat a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, eating is an important part of this whole thing, right? You can't really build strength training if you're not eating.
You better.
You've had 5 pizzas today, haven't you? Hey, dude, you guys are my brothers. I appreciate you both coming in today. When I threw this idea out, everybody looked at me like, you want to do what? I was like, yeah, I want John to tell the story on the radio. I think it's a very inspiring story. Lifting weights saved your life. Lifting. A lot of people say, what do we do to survive COVID? Wash your hands, wear a mask. No, lift weights. Go to a gym. Eat a steak. Put some salt on it. It's a very cool thing. John, Starting Strength Gym, Houston, Starting Strength, JD, excuse me. The best way to find you.
Starting Strength Houston, Starting Strength Katy.
Just Google it or come on in and you do introductory lessons and stuff. Very cool. John, you want to plug your business? If people want to check you out, you came all the way in here. We don't have an advertiser that competes with what you do. You could certainly tell people about it.
Yeah, we've got a company called Prime Systems. We've been in business since 1983. And we do sound, lighting, video, and productions. If you have to have the Eagles or one of your favorite legacy bands, you want to have your wife's birthday party, have them perform for you in your backyard, we can take care of all that.
I'm sorry, if you want to have the Eagles performing, that's what you do for a living?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Look, if you want Bob Dylan to do a private birthday party, call us. We'll set up the sound for you.
Give us a call, yeah.
That's pretty much it. Hey, I'm Kenny Webster. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great afternoon. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for more of what you all bought a radio for.
Listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio. Tell the government to kiss your ass when you listen to the show.